morning, guys. I hope you guys be safe in our home, isn't it? So previous sessions we see about a double slit as an interference, and we see the Young's double slit experiment, isn't it? So what are the point we see in double slit as an experiment? Coherent source. So double slit which is act as the source of a wavefront division, isn't it? Double slit is act as the source of wavefront division in which when a monochromatic source will be illuminated by two slits, S1 and S2, then this two slit will be act as the two coherent sources. Right? When the monochromatic source, when the monochromatic source will be illuminated by the two slit, then this two slit will be act as the two coherent sources, isn't it? Isn't it? From this point we see the constructive interference and the destructive interference. So what is constructive interference? Guys, what is constructive interference and destructive interference? When the crest of one wave meet with the crest of other wave. What is that? When the crest of one wave meet with the crest of other wave, or the trough of one wave meet with the trough of other wave, then the wave are in phase. So the displacement will be maximum. So the bright fringes will be appear. Then it is called as a constructive interference. So what is constructive interference? When the crest of one wave meet with the crest of other wave, or the trough of one wave meet with the trough of other wave, what we get that the waves are in phase, so the displacement will be maximum, so the bright fringes will be appear. So it's called as a constructive interference. At the same time, when the crest of one wave meet with the trough of other wave, otherwise the trough of one wave meet with the crest of another wave means, then the wave are out of phase. So the displacement will be minimum, and they get the dark fringes will be appears. So then it is called as a destructive interference. Then we see the Young's double slit experiments. And from this double slit experiment, what's the point? We see that the path difference, what is that? The path difference L is equal to y d by d, isn't it? What is that? The path difference is equal to, what is that? The path difference is equal to y d by d, isn't it? The path difference is equal to y d by d. From this point, we see the condition for the bright fringes, then we see the condition for the dark fringes, isn't it? So what is the condition for bright fringes? We see that the condition for bright fringes, the path difference is equal to n lambda. So what do you get? Y into d by d is equal to n lambda. So if we substitute them, means what do you get? Y is equal to n lambda into d by d, isn't it? Then we see the condition for the dark fringes, isn't it? So what is the condition for dark fringes? Del is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. Condition for dark fringes, del is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. So we substitute the value. Is what you get? Y d by d is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. From this, y is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2 into d by d. These are the parts we see in the Young's double slit experiment, isn't it? Then next we see what's the point. We see that band error. What is in band error? Guys, what is in the band error? The distance between the two consecutive bright or dark fringes. What is that? The distance between the two consecutive bright or dark fringes is called as a band error. So for this band error, what you get? Beta is equal to what is that? Beta is equal to lambda into d by d. So what do you get? Beta is equal to lambda into d by d. Then we see the conditions for a clear bright fringes. What's the condition? The source should be, what is that? The distance between the screen and source should be far away from possible, isn't it? Or the screen should be far away from the source as much as possible. Then the wavelength of light will be larger. Then third part, the two coherent sources. What is that? The two coherent sources as close as possible. So what are the conditions for the clear and bright fringes? The screen should be far away from the source as possible. Second point, the wavelength of light should be larger. And third point, the two coherent sources, the slit will be the close as such as possible. Okay? Clear. Then for today's session, we are going to see about the interference. Already we Young's double slit experiment. In today's session we are going to see about the interference. So when a polychromatic light, what is that? When a polychromatic light, because what is a polychromatic light? It's like a white light. Okay. When a polychromatic light is used as a Young's double slit experiment. What is that? When a polychromatic light will be used in a Young's double slit experiment, the fringes, different color fringes will be appear. What is that? Different color fringes will be appears. So what's the point? When a polychromatic light or a white light will be used in a Young's double slit experiment, the different color fringes will be appears. Why the different colors will be appear? Because the different colors having a different wavelengths. Okay, what is that? The different colors having a different wavelength. So when the polychromatic light will be used in a Young's double slit experiment, the different colored fringes of different thickness will be appears. Why means because the different colors having a different wavelength. Okay, different colors having a different wavelength. As the center, okay, the center fringes are all zeroth fringes. What is that? The center fringes or the zeroth fringes appears bright in color. Why it is appears bright in color means all the waves are in phase. All the waves are in phase that reach the point of O, so it will be white in color. Okay, it will be white in color. So when the interference in a polychromatic light, when a polychromatic light or white light will be used in a Young's double slit experiment, what is that? When a polychromatic light or a white light will be used in a Young's double slit experiment, that fringes, the colored fringes of different thickness will be appear. Why these different thickness or the different colors will be appear means because the different colors having a different wavelength, so the different colors of different thickness will be appears on the fringes, okay, or appears on a screen. And for the zero fringes or the center fringes, it appears white in color. Why it will be appears white in color means because all the waves are in phase. What is that? All the waves are in phase when it is reached the point of zero, or when it is reached the point of center fringes. Okay, so these are the parts in the interference in the polychromatic light. Then next we are going to see about the interference in thin films. What is that? Interference in thin films. So first we see the interference in polychromatic light. A simple point in the place of for Young's double slit experiment, when we are using a white light or polychromatic light, we are using means we get the color fringes. Why we get the color fringes means because the different colors having a different thickness. Clear? Clear. And also the center bright fringes or the center fringes or the zero fringes appears white in color. Why it is appears white in color means because all the waves reach the point of O are in phase, so they appears bright or white in color. Okay. Then next we are going to see the interference in thin films. Okay. So consider a thin transparent film. What is that? Consider a thin transparent film having a refractive index mu and a thickness d. Okay, consider a thin transparent film. What is that? Consider a thin transparent film having a refractive index mu and a thickness d. Okay, so when a ray of light, what is that? When a ray of light will be incident on the film with the angle of incidence I. Okay, when a ray of light will be incident on the film with the angle of incidence I. So a part of light will be reflected out and a part of light will be reflected reach the film. A part of its light will be reflected out and the part of light will be reflected and reach the film. And the reflected light reach the lower part of a lower surface of the film. Once again it will be reflected and refracted. When the reflected light reach the upper surface. When the reflected light reaches the upper surface, part of its light will be reflected and parts of the light will be reflected. Okay, so here the refractions, what is that? The interference will be produced by a thin film. What is that? The interference will be produced by a thin film due to the reflections and the refraction. The interference produced by thin films due to the reflections and the refraction. So A, B, C, D, So when a ray of light will be incident on the thin film, what is that? When a ray of light will be incident on thin film with the angle of incidence I, a part of its light will be reflected and a parts of light will be refracted. When the refracted light, what is that? When a refracted light reaches the lower surface or reaches the surface of the film, its part of its light will be reflected and part of its light will be refracted. So when the refractor reaches the upper surface, it will be reflected out of its film and then the remaining light will be reflected back towards the film. Okay, so here the B and D are refracted out from the surface of film and A or C are reflected back towards the surface of film. So, okay, so the interference will be up here. What is that? The interference will be up here due to the, what is that? The interference will be up here due to the reflections and the refraction of a light. Okay, what is that? The interference will be up here due to the reflections and refraction of a light. So first, the condition for the transmitted light. What is that? For transmitted light. So for a transmitted light, we are going to take the light move from a junction B and D. Okay, so we take as the path difference between the light waves. What is that? The path difference between the light wave transmitted from B and D. Okay, as the waves, what is that? As the wave will be transmitted from a point B and D, it will be traveled towards the medium, isn't it? So it travel towards the refractive index of a medium mu. Okay, so they having a path difference. Okay, so when these two waves having a same phase, when they reach the point B, when they splitting upward, they having a different phase. Okay, so as the wave will be, what is that? As the path difference between, what is that? As the angle of incidence will be 0. As the angle of incidence will be 0, the point B and D are very close to each other. Okay, the point B and D are very close to each other. So the path difference between the wave, what is that? The path difference between the wave is equal to BC plus CD. Okay, the path difference between the waves is equal to BC plus CD. Already we know the thickness will be D, so you get the 2D. Okay, when the angle of incidence will be 0, what is that? As the angle of incidence assumed to be 0, the junction B and D will be very close to each other. So the path difference, what is that? The path traveled by the light BC plus CD is equal to 2D. As the path traveled towards the refractive index of a thin film, isn't it? So the optical path difference, what is that? The optical path difference del is equal to 2 mu d. Otherwise, del is equal to 2d into d. Okay, clear? Clear. So for a transmitted light, the path of, what is that? The path of light between the junction B and D are in phase when the refractions will be upward or when the refractive splitting will be upward. So here, the path of light, when the angle of incidence will be 0, what is that? We are assuming when the angle of incidence is assumed to be 0, so the junction B and D are very close to each other. So the path of a light transmitted, what is that? The path of a light inside the film BC plus CD is equal to 2D. Why is 2D? Because the angle of incidence will be 0. And also the for a particle, because as the light waves, what is that? As the wave will be passing towards or move towards the film having a refractive index mu, so the optical path difference is equal to 2D into mu. Okay, then we are going to write the condition for a bright fringes and the condition for dark fringes. So condition for bright fringes, the path difference is equal to n lambda. The path difference is equal to n lambda. What is that? The path difference is equal to n lambda. So if you substitute this, what we get? 2 mu d is equal to n lambda. Okay, so it will be for bright fringes we assume as the constructive fringes. Then condition for destructive or dark fringes. So the condition for a destructive or dark fringes, del is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. So if you substitute this, what we get? 2 mu d is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. This is for a transmitted light. Similarly, for reflected light. So for a reflected light, the light will be moving from a junction A to C. Okay, here we take a junction. Here we take a junction AC. Okay, here we take a junction A and C. Okay, here we take a junction A and C. Okay, for the junction A and C, the light will be moving from, what is that? The light will be moving from denser medium to rarer medium. What is that? The light will be moving from a denser medium to rarer medium. There is a phase change. There is a change of phase will be. What is that? There is a change of phase will be phi. There is a change of phase will be phi. So the path difference, what is that? The path difference is equal to lambda by 2. There is a path difference of lambda by 2. So for a junction A and C, for a reflected light A and C, as the light will be moving from a rarer medium to denser medium, and denser medium to the rarer medium, there is a change of phase phi. So there will be phase difference of lambda by 2. Now the light, why the light will be moving? The light will be moving towards the path of A to B and B to C. So the path of a ray, what is that? The path of a light ray is equal to A, B plus B, C, which is equal to 2D. As this light, what is that? As this light is moving towards the refractive index mu. What is that? As the light is moving towards the refractive index mu, so their path difference, what is that? The optical path difference is equal to 2D into. So the total path difference, what is that? So the total path difference. Okay. So what do you get? Del is equal to 2 mu d plus lambda by 2. 2 mu d plus lambda by 2. Here, this lambda by 2 is when a ray of light will be moving from rarer medium to denser medium, there is a path difference. Here, the light will be moving from junction A to B plus B to C. Okay, in a film having a refractive index, what is that? In a film having a refractive index, then we are going to take a constructive interference and a destructive interference. So, for constructive interference, okay, so for a constructive interference, the path difference is equal to n lambda. Path difference is equal to n lambda. So, if you substitute this, what do you get? 2 mu d plus lambda by 2 is equal to n lambda. So, if a lambda by 2 minus mu, that means what do you get? 2 mu d is equal to n lambda minus lambda by 2. Okay, so if you take a form, okay, if you take LCM, means what you get? Take LCM, means what you get? 2 mu d is equal to 2n lambda minus lambda by 2. So from this term, what's the common term? Lambda will be common term. If taken out from this, what do you get? 2 mu d is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. Then, similarly for a destructive interference, what is that? Similarly for a destructive interference, what do you get? The path difference is equal to, what is that? The path difference is equal to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. So if you substitute the term, what do you get? 2 mu d plus lambda by 2 is equal to. So if you multiply by the term, 2n lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2. Okay, 2 cancels, so you get n lambda. So if this lambda by 2 move to the right hand side, it will be minus lambda by 2, isn't it? So substitute that 2 mu d is equal to n lambda plus lambda by 2 minus lambda by 2. So plus lambda by 2 minus lambda by 2 cancels. So the path difference is equal to n into lambda. So this is the expression for interference and interference. So first we see for the transmitted light, then we see for the reflected light. Both the transmitted light and reflected light. For transmitted light, the light will be moving towards the path from BC plus CD. As the light will be moving towards the film having a refractive index mu, so the path difference is equal to 2d mu. And similarly for the reflected light, when the light will be moving from a rarer medium to the denser medium, the denser medium to rarer medium, there is a change of phases. There is a change of phase phi, so the additional path difference will be lambda by 2. In addition, when a ray will be moving from A to B plus B to C in the refractive index of film mu, so you get 2d into mu. So the total path difference is equal to 2d into mu d plus lambda by 2. Then we write the constructive difference and also the destructive difference. Clear? This will be one of an important 5 mark question. There are an expression for interference in thin films. Okay? Clear? The next one is diffraction. So diffraction is a phenomenon. What is that? Diffraction is a phenomenon. What is that? The diffraction is a phenomenon which is used common for all waves, whether it is a sound wave, light wave, or whatever wave is that. The diffraction is a common for what is that? The diffraction will be common for all waves. Okay. So what is diffraction? Diffraction is the bending of waves. What is that? The diffraction is the bending of waves around the sharp edges. Okay, what is diffraction? Diffraction is the bending of waves around the sharp edges. What is that? The diffraction is the bending of waves around the sharp edges in the grounded shadow region. Okay, in the geometrical shadow region. In a geometrical shadow region. Okay, so what is diffraction? Diffraction is the bending of waves around the soft edges. What is that? The diffraction is the bending of wave around the soft edges in the geometrical shadow region. Okay, in a geometrical shadow region. So what is diffraction? Define diffraction. What is diffraction? Diffraction is the bending of waves around the sharp edges. What is that? Diffraction is the bending of waves around the sharp edges in a geometrical shadow region. In a geometrical shadow region. So based on the plane wavefront undergo diffraction. What is that? Based on the plane wavefront undergo diffraction, they will be classified as two types. What is that? Based on the plane wavefront and based on the wavefront undergo diffraction, they will be classified as two types. Okay, they will be classified as two types. One is Fresnel diffraction, and other one is Fraunhofer diffraction. So based on the wavefront, what is that? Based on the wavefront, they will be classified as two types. One is the Fresnel, other one is the Fraunhofer. So for Fresnel, what is that? For the Fresnel, spherical or cylindrical wavefront undergo diffraction. For Fraunhofer diffraction, what is that? For a Fraunhofer diffraction, plane wavefront undergo diffraction. Plane wavefront undergo diffraction. Once for Fresnel diffraction, spherical or cylindrical wavefront undergo diffraction. For Fraunhofer, plane wavefront undergo diffraction. Then second point, for Fresnel, source is at the infinite distance. Source is at a finite distance. Okay, what is that? The source is at a finite distance. Source is at finite distance. For Fraunhofer diffraction, the source is at a infinite distance. Okay, the source is at a infinite distance. Clear? So third point, in laboratory condition. Okay, for laboratory condition, convex lens need not to be used. For laboratory conditions, the convex lens need not to be used. Here, for Fraunhofer diffraction, for laboratory condition, convex lens, what is that? The convex lens need be used. Okay, convex lens need be used. Okay, then fourth point, it will be difficult to observe and analyze. It is difficult to observe and analyze. Okay, it will be difficult to observe and analyze. At the same time, for Fraunhofer diffraction, it will be easy to observe. What is that? It will be easy to observe and analyze. It will be easy to observe and analyze. So, what's the difference between the Fresnel and Fraunhofer diffraction? Based on the wavefront undergo diffraction, you will be classified as two types. One is the Fresnel diffraction, and one is the Fraunhofer diffraction. For a Fresnel diffraction, the spherical or spherical waveform undergo diffraction. Then for Fraunhofer plane waveform undergo diffraction. Then here the source is at the finite distance, here the source is at the infinite distance. For laboratory condition, convex lens need to be used. Here the convex lens need to be used. Here it will be difficult to observe and analyze. It will be easy to observe and analyze. Okay. And the last one. Okay. It will be source. Okay. From this point, it will be converged and interval. Okay, clear? At the same time, for Fraunhofer diffractions, we have to using a lens. Clear? Clear? So for this sessions, we see about the interference in polychromatic light and the interference in the thin films. Then we see the introduction to diffractions. Okay. So almost 4 questions you will learn. What are the questions? Say the interference in the polychromatic light and write about or explain the interference in thin films. One of the 5 mark question and define diffraction. Then what are the types of diffraction are? Distinguish between the Fresnel and Fraunhofer diffractions. Okay. So I hope you understand this session. Thank you.